All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Someone made fun of me for asking for people to twerk to Revolution. And I didn't feel good about them accusing me of that.
The ironic part about you,
you saw somebody do it.
No, they made like a drill music song to it.
No,
and the kids is like doing like some type of that pop smoke dance thing to it.
To Revolution?
It sounded pretty hard. I ain't even gonna front. That shit sound hard.
Oh man. Well, banter. I had to really think about banter because last week was trash. And I openly admit that. And I don't think this week is going to be any different. This might be a quick one. Here we go. Yeah, everybody watch Power Rangers?
Currently?
Which one?
Just in general. You watched Power Rangers before?
I stopped that in space.
Dang. I feel like a nerd because I stopped at like Dino Thunder.
Oh, you gotta think about age. I know you keep saying like we grew up together.
Yo, you right.
Greg, I was literally having sex at like while you was probably still watching Power Rangers. Like the things we was into, like that.
You right.
That gap, yo. Like
you right.
For real.
But Gigi, you watch Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
All right. What Power Ranger did you want to be?
The White Ranger.
Really? From Mighty Morphin, the first joint? You wanted to be Tommy?
Yes.
Why?
Like that episode specifically when they debuted the White Ranger, it was a game changer. Especially how they built around that they made it so epic, and it was a to be continue, and
they was working on him in the lab and
what's
shit.
The name? I think Jason was hiding in a vent or something like that, looking at what was going on, and Alpha was working on him. Like that was crazy.
You ever thought about where was Tommy the rest of he was just staying there while they was working on him? Like he was a normal teenager. Once he became the White Ranger, like how did that work out? I'm thinking too
I don't
deep into that.
understand what you're saying.
The Power Rangers were normal teenagers, right? So when they wasn't fighting crime as Power Rangers, they was at school and shit.
Yeah.
When the White Rangers when the White Ranger was introduced,
yeah, he was working.
He was?
Wasn't he working?
Where did Tommy? I know Tommy was the Green Ranger first, right? But then he just went away.
I thought he was the White Ranger first, and then he became the Green Ranger.
Absolutely not. He was the Green Ranger first, and he was whipping ass.
With the White
he kicked them out their own fucking Megazord.
That's why he joined the team.
He ain't need to join the team. They wanted him to join the team.
He had to.
He kicked them out their own Megazord.
You got the same outfit. They went to the same tailor and got the same outfit. You can't tell me I'm stronger than you, but we literally went to the same place to get the same outfit.
Nah, they knew Tommy was different because one, like I said, he kicked them out their own Megazord. But then they got rid of the original leader and said, Tommy, now you gonna be the leader. And you're not gonna even wear his color.
Well, why would he want to change his color? They all had a flute.
No, they all did not have a flute.
They didn't have flute. He just had the flute.
Oh, you didn't really watch Power Rangers?
That was the Green Ranger who had the
Cream.
The Green Ranger had the flute.
Oh, you didn't watch Power Rangers?
Oh, okay. No, I did. I just it's been so long that I haven't watched it. Like I didn't even know that they did dinosaurs. Why?
What?
Why did they go into space? Wasn't they trying to get them? Wasn't they dealing with people on Earth from space? Why now are they going into space?
Huh?
And why were they ninjas? There was at one point in time they became ninjas.
They were ninjas.
Too. Why?
Why are you asking these questions?
Because I think that Power Rangers was great for what they were. It made it realistic to make it seem like as a teenager and I was fit that I could save the world. But now you putting me in a space, you telling me that I'm a ninja warrior, and then all of a sudden now there's dinosaurs.
At one point they wasn't teenagers anymore. I feel like they wasn't. Were they always teenagers? Because that would be now would make it seem real crazy if they was in space as teenagers.
Well, there's no time and space really. So
they would. No, they wasn't teenagers.
It was adults.
Yeah, like
they
when
came back and they started being mentors and all that.
yeah.
But what I wanted to go back to when the fact that you said that Tommy was the leader. It was like,
Cause there was two Red Rangers. You had Jason, who was the original leader, and then they went to the other nigga when Tommy became the White Ranger.
yeah. But I mean,
And that's
Greg,
what-
Jason was still holding it down. Like, it was weird because it was like he still had a leadership role,
Yeah.
but the Green Ranger, White Ranger still was like his own type of entity.
He was just with them.
When Tommy was the Green Ranger, he was like his own entity. So Jason was the Red Ranger. He was the leader. But then when Tommy became the White Ranger, he like joined the team.
Yeah.
And that's when they switched the Red Ranger. That's when they did mad switches. They changed the Black Ranger from the black guy to the Asian dude.
I think because they saw that
That was
people
racist.
started getting tired of what was going on.
No,
Like,
they were just too many black. Because the yellow Ranger.
Became black.
Yeah.
Because she was Asian at first.
so they had to like,
Wow.
yeah, they called Asian people yellow.
Wow.
You didn't pick that up.
I did not right now.
You didn't think that it wasn't funny that
I understood about the
Tommy-
black one.
No, you didn't even get the idea that Tommy was green and he had a whole ponytail, like he was like Italian, like.
Oh shit! Wow. No.
And the Black Ranger always had the moves. Like,
Yeah, that was stereotypical, and that's why I thought they had to change it.
Yeah.
And then
But
the Yellow Ranger
pink-
being
and then
Asian makes
And then
sense.
the Pink Ranger is usually like the blonde girl.
Nope, she was a brunette.
Oh yeah, Kim had like, but it was a dirty blonde. It wasn't like dark brunette.
I have no idea what hair colors are
Oh.
at all.
Oh, okay.
oh no, there was one that had.
It wasn't a blonde girl
Blonde.
at all. No, it wasn't. He's right. It was dark color.
And she had like streaks.
It was like brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brown.
Yeah.
You talking about the first season?
Yeah.
No,
Kimberly.
No, but it was like a season after or something
Let me
like
see.
that where the Pink Ranger had. I'm not talking about the first season.
I think it's Zeo, the Pink Ranger. Was,
right. Yeah, and I think it was Zeo. One of
Oh,
those
so the Yellow Ranger was Asian and the black
Yeah.
was black.
And the
but
Red
then they made
Ranger
the black.
And,
Was
but
it
what's
red?
bad was
But they switched it.
It was so stereotypical.
So they switched it. So
Yeah.
that's why they made the black one Asian and the yellow one black.
Yup. But still kept the white person as the Red Ranger.
But the thing was
leader.
is that the majority of people were white. Blue Ranger was right. Red Ranger was right. Pink Ranger was right. Green Ranger was
But
right.
they tried to get even more diverse in Ninja Storm when the Yellow Ranger was a boy. Cause the girls was always yellow and pink.
I don't know why you continue to watch it after.
I don't know either.
Even after
I
when you
don't know.
like go back and you watch the old ones, when you see like
They still great.
the monsters, and you realize like the costumes was trash. Like for some reason they look really real when we was looking at it, just like wrestling. Like when they was fighting, you was
That's
like,
'cause
oh my
HD
gosh.
and 4K.
But now it's just like
Now you know it's toys.
I see the zipper.
Imagine how many. Imagine how many casualties died
It didn't.
from the
but
Megazords
nothing
just
look-
stomping on
Everything was
buildings,
just
like-
normal as fuck.
That city, Angel Grove. Whoever was the mayor of Angel Grove,
You know,
yo?
we never seen them. Did we ever see them? Never seen them.
Who was the mayor of Angel Grove?
Not doing a goddamn thing.
I don't know.
Probably in
But
somebody's bathroom.
You ever think about that in any superhero show where like they fuck up the city and nothing happens to the city? That city got a mean budget for cleanup.
I just think that some people's powers they can like snap and like everything can go back.
True.
That's how it was.
But you mean to tell me every time Superman smashed into a building,
Yeah.
he was snapping his fingers and putting shit back?
No. No, I don't
At
think
least,
so.
no, Superman was trying to rectify shit. Like,
The nigga was picking up niggas' cars and throwing it at people. What insurance is covering that?
Well, once it's in a collision, I mean, at this point, it's covered.
Yo, that would be a good campaign for an insurance company.
A superhero messing up your car?
Yes.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Because they'd be like, "Yep, we even cover this."
Yes, but now you have to prove that a superhero messed up your car.
Of course, it wouldn't happen.
But so why am I using that?
Because it's like
you're talking about just for marketing.
Yeah.
In a commercial.
Yeah.
Yes, until you find that one customer that calls in and be like, yes, so Superman came through and busted my windows out. What's up?
Proof. You got to prove that.
His cape is in my car. How can you tell me that that's not wrong? You seen Superman before?
No.
You seen Superman
Superman
cape?
ain't real.
How you know it's not mine? Then don't use it as a commercial. They need to put at the end that please understand that insurance does not cover superhero damages.
You see the Mayhem commercials?
Yes.
Those shits are hilarious.
Yes, but that's supposed to be like those are not supposed to be intended that.
You know what I'm talking about? You see the
real.
Mayhem commercials where the dude is like,
Injury?
yeah, he is what can cause an accident. So like in the most recent one, the nigga is like doing a TikTok dance, and the guy is driving, paying attention to him, and crashing into a car behind him, and he's like, "Dang, that just sounded really boring as I was trying to explain it. I'm gonna stop."
No, it's always like that. You just gotta like send me the link. That's what it's all about.
You right.
Send in the link. Don't try to explain it.
That's bad, Joe. But I do want to just answer my own question. I wanted to be Justin, the Blue Ranger in Power Ranger Turbo, because he was actually a kid and was a Power Ranger.
Oh yeah,
And I thought,
that was cool.
Also
yo.
didn't get any ass.
That was cool.
Why did he need to get ass? He was a Power Ranger.
They all were Power Rangers, but we knew that Tommy was getting ass.
Somebody should do a deep dive into Tommy's life, because there's no way in hell this nigga been a Power Ranger for like 20 years.
Everybody, what do you mean?
He's right now. Tommy is well respected amongst
Like the
the
martial arts-
Comic-Con community
and martial arts community.
and martial arts community, and he flexes a lot.
For real?
I used to follow him actually. He used to post all of his like green Rolexes and shit like that, like mad flexing, like showing different jewelry that he bought.
Look at this Say-Ban money. Did you have a Power Ranger you wanted to be?
I wanted to be all the Power Rangers.
For real?
Independent on the day, because I like the idea that Tommy was a villain, but at the same time was a hero. I really like that concept, and we were able to see him evolve, but never forget that he could whoop everybody's ass.
He kicked people out their own Megazord.
I really like that. And then I like the idea that you have the Pink Ranger, who, although may come off as like the cute one and everybody just wants to date, will still kick your ass if you test her. I also like the Blue Ranger, who is very geeky, and at the end of the day, when all else fails and the karate wasn't working, he had the statistics to make sure that they got to wherever
I
they needed to go.
always wanted him to get punched in the face.
The Blue Ranger?
Blue Ranger?
Billy. His name was, say his name.
Billy.
His name was Billy.
Jason was red then.
Yeah, Jason was right.
But you said you wanted to be the Blue Ranger.
Get his not
That's
glasses
Billy.
knocked off.
I wanted to be the Blue Ranger Power Ranger Turbo. That was Justin.
And Turbo. I'm over this. I can't do this. Because I didn't even know. I thought there was ninjas, space, dinos. Now there's a Turbo.
Turbo is crazy.
Turbo,
That's
I bet you that
still-
their masks look dumb. We got a little sprinting thing at the side
Turbo
of
is
it.
still very pretty early, like,
Yeah.
because they still had the movies that was selling, that was box
No,
office
the
selling
movie
out.
with Ivan Ooze, best Power Ranger movie of all
Disagree.
time. Nope, that's
The
the
latest
best
one
movie
that
of
just
all
came
time.
out, that shit was crazy.
No,
That's it. No, I would
You
say
seen
this.
it?
No, it was crazy. It was. I would say this. That one was more believable for me,
Okay.
but that one.
That's iconic.
Yes, it was so, because that's like Power Rangers at its all-time
yes, we've
high, where the masses, like, it wasn't just the Power Ranger fans. It leaked out into like a general fan base of people who began to
Yes.
watch the movie just because it was the brand was so big. It was like in
The brand
McDonald's
was
and
big,
everything.
The music was big. Even think
Right.
about that time, like even technology wasn't even at its greatest point with CGI. So like a lot of the things that we saw, like the skydiving moment that they had, like they was jumping out like their action when they were fighting.
the
Like
movie is definitely
the
iconic.
movie in itself was just really well thought out. I like the detail that they had into it. Like that was probably, like I said, I think it's one of the
The
best.
new one has no quotable moments.
That shit
one-
was just hard to be.
Like, think about Ivan Ooze. Like, that's an iconic,
Yeah.
like, that's an iconic villain in itself. Like,
Where's my autograph book?
like, it
There's
was,
no quotable moments in the new joint.
like, in the new one, it probably had, like,
For sure.
nice, like, it probably looked great.
It was serious.
Right?
It was way more serious.
But I think that
You're right, it
we
did look
saw these characters in the show, and we watching them, we growing up with them, and now we seeing them in this whole movie that's not just 30 minutes with commercials. Now it's a whole plot line, no commercials, and there's music in the background, and like they go on an adventure, they turn into animals. These niggas turn into animals. It's like, and I believed it too.
Who turned into an animal though?
They all did.
They all
like
did.
when they
when they got the ninja shit.
yeah.
How you gonna say what do you need ninjas for? Them niggas was ninjas.
Okay, I guess that's it.
Yo, that I didn't get that too. Like, you know,
Cause they
Why would they
went
turn
from
to the-
dinosaurs. They went from dinosaurs to jungle animals.
Remember, because they
Jungle
go.
animals. I don't know what you're
Remember,
talking
they go.
about
Like,
now.
oh, I think we should go watch this movie. Can
you
we watch
talking
this
about
movie?
when they had
I
And
wanna
the,
have
Mighty
movie
Morphin,
night.
they went from Maxodon, pterodactyl to
Yeah.
bear.
no, when you
White
said they
eagle.
turned into
Yeah.
animals, when you said they turned into animals, I'm thinking you saying like on some Beast Wars
But
type
they
shit.
did, they
like,
did
what?
turn.
To
They
get,
did.
it was like
Well,
it was
they're-
a sequence of them like finding their new powers.
I don't know what it's like. You mean like he literally was
was a
walking
one-time
around on four?
It was like a one-time thing. And then
Okay.
they came back into human form and got their new crystals to be those, like, that was their spirit animals now instead of dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're spirit animals,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
don't
what they.
recall that.
That's what they were in. Now, those were their machines that they were in.
You talking about the machines, or you saying Tommy was walking around like a
Tommy
physical?
turned into an eagle.
Yeah.
Caw-caw!
Yeah,
Okay.
turn to a bird.
Okay.
Can we watch this movie? Can we have a movie night?
I don't know if
I think
I
this is-
I have the patience in 2022 to seriously.
You just watched the new one.
No, the new one for starters, like I said, it was way more believable. I saw it. Obviously, I don't believe like niggas are walking around being Power Rangers for real. But the way they did it, it seems is more believable than the original.
Yes, and I think that's my issue with a lot of the superhero things is that they make it more realistic, which is awesome because you find relatable. But at the end of the day, like, it was fantasy. That's what we played into as children, right? Like, it started off with cartoons, and then you made these cartoons like real things where now real life, but it was still the idea of fantasy.
You know what's crazy? I redeemed myself from last week's banter. Booyah! Because we got a good conversation going.
Nigga said booyah. 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 Booyah.
Here we go.
Stop.
I could have kept going, but
Yeah, I was waiting for your joint to fade. That was pretty impressive.
I know,
man.
yo, I was on it this week for some reason. Yep. Welcome to Convo 64. I'm gonna go with 64. Of just a conversation with Greg, Mr. Rent Money, and Gigi. I am the person that talks first. Greg, Nope.
It happens, man.
And
No time for your mind.
and I'm joined by my brother, Mr. Rent Money. Mr. Rent Money, how's it going, brother?
Everything's doing well. I wouldn't say everything. I feel great. I do feel great. That's not a lie. I don't say that in a cliche manner. I genuinely do mean that. I feel great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We're also joined by our sister, Gigi. Gigi, how's it going?
Hi, everyone.
How was your week?
My week was pretty good. It was really busy. I know last week I was saying that transitioning has been a thing, but it's actually coming to a close. So I'm actually just kind of cleaning up everything in my last chapter of this part of my job. And as of next week, we'll be full-blown steam ahead. So I'm really excited about that. This week in all, I felt like moved really fast than I anticipated, even to the idea. Greg, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, I didn't even talk to you this week, and it seemed like...
And I text you and you respond.
Yeah, I wasn't on that type of time. My mind was somewhere else, and so I apologize for that. But it was just like, this week went by really fast, and then I'm just like, well, we're in March. Like, I feel like we just celebrated New Year's together, and now we're like about to be in a section
First quarter's
where
almost
I've
done.
forget about first quarter. I'm going into a year on being in this podcast, like, with you guys. Like, that's really, really, time has gone so fast. That caught me off guard for a minute.
And it's been a ride. And it's still riding.
Yo, this ain't for everybody. I just want to tell you that.
To rock your ass out that damn.
Yo, and I'm gonna just keep kicking them so you can keep rolling down. But all in all, this week, I want to say I'm just kind of grateful for the people that were a part of it, because there's moments where I definitely needed it. But it was really busy for me. I was really just trying to get work done, personal and career-wise, and I'm just really excited to look forward to the upcoming weeks and what I can look forward to. So,
Dope.
shout outs to that.
Dope. Also joined by our lovely engineer who makes us sound great. We got Blaze. And all you people who, may want to connect with Blaze, hit him up on Twitter at Blaze versus your mom. Because he's disrespectful. He's not. He just tries to. No, he's not disrespectful at all. But yeah, guys.
How are you, Greg?
Greg is alright. I must say I'm okay. Like you, feel like this week was okay. I don't know. I ain't nothing.
It went by really fast. Like, if for you to even think of what Monday did, what Tuesday did, you're like, damn, like Friday. We literally just sat here and had a conversation, and now we're sitting back here again, and I'm just like, I blank. Nothing was just like...
For sure.
Like Wednesday. Did Wednesday feel different from Tuesday?
No, yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. I don't know. I just felt like...
weeks just seemed like it was a blur.
Yeah.
All the days kind of blended into each other for me.
I
It
can
wasn't
see
a
that.
bad week. It wasn't a great week, but it wasn't
was a week.
It was a week, yeah. It was
Just
just
a
like,
week.
But I had a...
So, but yeah, I'm doing well. I must say. Things could always be better, but
Always.
I'm good, and I'm here to talk and pod with all of you lovely people. Actually, just you people in the room, because I don't really care. People talk back to me.
He does.
But want to start with some topics? Who want to start it off? Start it off.
Chris Breezy has been in the front page. I don't want to say the front page, but yeah, the front page of social media. Everybody's been talking about how at first it was an alleged rape thing going on, but now it's out there that he did not do what people were actually blaming him for. And I wanted to talk about the double standards that go along pertaining to men in this topic in particular. Right? So everybody caught wind of some allegations about Chris Brown raping a young lady, and they completely jumped out the window and said he did it. People was hanging him on social media saying all types of craziness.
Yeah.
Now it comes out that there's bona fide proof, pause, that he did not do it. And now it's like crickets.
Yeah.
What's up with that? How do you feel, or do you believe that there are double standards when it comes
Absolutely, there's
to this
double
topic
standards
in particular?
And the reason why nobody's like coming to say, "Oh, Chris Brown was sorry," blah blah blah, or even I think the reason why he was proven guilty before proven innocent is because of his past transgressions. Like, we know Chris Brown has dealt with issues with domestic violence in women, with Rihanna. So like people still hold that against him. Like, he did that to Rihanna. I don't see why he wouldn't do this either. And I think that's not fair to someone. But just to directly answer your question, absolutely there's a double standard. Especially when I think it's just because of gender. It's a gender bias.
Gender bias.
Men are supposedly stronger than women, so if a woman says that a man did something, they're automatically believed. Let me not say that. I don't want to be insensitive. We have to believe them first instead of hearing the whole story or just not being biased at all.
Oh, and you don't want to say that men are stronger than women. You don't want to say that.
Truth, though.
No, but I'm saying you don't want to say that.
I'm not saying not all men are stronger than all women, but
you know, that's another iffy topic too. You know,
I don't think that's iffy. There's just certain things men could do that women can't do. Men are playing in the NBA dunking basketballs. You don't see women doing windmills and doing under the leg. Show me on a regulation rim with a
Oh my.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think we talked about this on the podcast
We
one
have.
time, like with the athleticism.
Talking about they doing rim grazers.
They are not dunking the ball the way LeBron James dunks the ball. They're not posterizing people. If there was posterizing people in the WNBA, we would all watch it more. And it's not to say that they're not skilled and have entertaining games, but there's a difference.
I want to hear your thoughts on this topic in particular. We can definitely talk about the NBA. Word is born, Gigi, because I know that struck a nerve or whatever. But what are your feelings about this topic in particular, about Chris Brown and him automatically getting slayed on the internet and people not even having proof whether he did it or not? The allegation was enough to take him down.
I ask you about that.
Well, first and foremost, when it comes to situations like this, I just think it becomes a little sensitive because no one's in. When you're going into this and you're hearing about this, you're not assuming that the person is lying. Mm-hmm. Someone that is coming out into public to say that this has happened to them, you're not going to automatically assume, unless they have history, to assume that they are lying about this incident. But history has shown us that there are people that lied, that now you do have to question these people. But it's a bittersweet situation because it's like you want to give him a chance because of the idea that someone could say something but it cannot be true, and you want to be able to support him as much as you can. But at the same time, someone could say something and it could be true, and then what? And we don't believe them, right? Same thing that has happened with some women from the past with the R. Kellys and even the Bill Cosbys. It's that sometimes there are people that are telling us these truths, but because of maybe some past or things that have happened, that we're automatically saying that there's a lie. And that's what I hate about I can't even say hate. I don't want to use those, but that's I think my little qualm with the Me Too movement is sometimes it takes away from these incidents that actually happen to women, when there are high profile people that violate them, because then there are women such as herself who lie. So when something is actually happening and I'm saying this happened to me, we're gonna go back to this incident and say, well, this happens all the time. He's just gonna show you a text message of when I was on it. But guess what? That was last week. And this week I was on that type of time. And now we have an issue. But because now he has proof of this conversation that we have when I was stigmatized, I'm now no longer seen as a victim, even though at one point I feel violated. I just think it's like a double-edged sword because, for one thing, her manipulation in the situation takes away from the woman that may or could have been actually violated by him, because if someone has been, now their voice will no longer be heard. If they did try to come out at this point in time, it's already going to be like, you're lying. Stay in line with all the other ones that are lying about him. And I think that's just sad. But at the same time, as a black man, having to always have to defend yourself before having to prove yourself, what is it? Like, you have to prove yourself innocent, right?
Yeah, you're usually
but I feel
guilty
like
in court,
when it
court
comes,
of public opinion.
Yes, you're until proven guilty.
Yeah.
But with a lot of black men in these circumstances, or men in general, that they're automatically assumed that they're guilty before even proven innocent. And how are you? The one thing about being innocent is if I didn't do it and you've already assumed that I did it, how can I prove to you that I didn't do it? Especially if you wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part about it either way. So
I mean, it definitely is a he say she say kind of thing at the beginning of it all. But the thing is, like you said, you got to be sensitive to the person who is accusing, like who's claiming to be the victim.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think,
why do you need to be sensitive to something that you have absolutely no information on?
I think you should be sensitive to them because they're claiming that they were violated.
They have been violated.
Anybody can make a claim. My stance is like, the sensitivity only comes about when it pertains to a woman. So it's like basically saying you only should be sensitive when a woman makes these claims.
No. I think that once this claim is said, whether it's a man or a woman, you should already show sensitivity to it.
But what actually happens is
he's saying that
not
what happens more.
I think it depends on the scenario. How it's perceived.
Give me a scenario where a man brings forth an issue like this publicly and there's sensitivity brought immediately without any proof. Give me one scenario.
The Catholic Church, when they were violating
sodomized boys.
A boy or a man?
Boy, and then they end up
a child in general. That's totally different. A child doesn't have the same merit, or a man doesn't have the same
compassion that a child.
People don't give men the same compassion as a child in general. Not just a baby girl or a baby boy. Like, that's just children in general. So that's just all under one category. I'm saying a grown man with a beard, an Adam's apple, everything that comes along with being a man. There is absolutely no, and I'm just saying this from proof. I'm not speaking about it from a different perspective, like on the outside looking in. I'm saying it being a man who has been in several situations where there's absolutely no compassion whatsoever. It's like basically you're a guy. And that's it. Whereas when it pertains to a woman, it's like automatically, we don't know if you're lying or telling the truth, but we are going to come to her aid in anything that she needs. Let's just make sure that she's good. And if she comes out and says that she's a lie, then so be it. But with a man, it's just like, if somebody helps you, then somebody helps you. If not, then
Can I say this might be a little controversial, but because I agree with your statement, I agree. But I think I'll take it a step. I'll take it a step further. I don't think it's women. I think it's when it's Dang, I don't know how to say this properly without offending people. So here it is. But when it's like a feminine, I don't want to call it a feminine act. That doesn't make sense. What I'm trying to say is like, only time a man is really like showed compassion when they come out and say they've been raped is 9 times out of 10 is when something like they've been raped by another man. Like if because they might be homosexual. Like we know that hate happens within the homosexual community, and when they when something happens like that to them, I feel like it's way the compassion is there, like how if a woman comes out and say they were sexually assaulted versus like a heterosexual male comes out and says that they were sexually assaulted, they don't get that same compassion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would say it's not even just women. I think it's
does a man get compassion when another man
I think
rapes
so.
him?
Look at Terry Crews. I think when Terry Crews came out and talked about what was happening to him in Hollywood, it was
Laughed at on so many angles.
that's because
Different.
people thought he was lying until but until he was like this stuff like really happened. It was man on man. People, I feel like there was a lot of compassion and support for him.
In what capacity?
Like Terry Crews is brave. It's not until he started saying dumb shit that people was like, "Shut up."
Okay, I'll give you that. Terry Crews. It's just not very. It's not nearly as often, and I just want to say in general, abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, just in general, like those two topics is totally different when it comes. I mean, and double standards exist. I don't want to like act like double standards exist. It is what it is. Double standards exist.
Can I ask you a question? I don't know how much you know about the whole Chris Brown thing, but was he charged for rape?
Nah.
It was just she just said it.
She said it, and it was starting to.
No legal action was ever taken.
Nah.
Oh, why? Because if legal action was taken, she should go to jail.
No.
I think anyone
he can still sue for slander.
Sue. Yeah.
Suing is just, to me, that's just a money thing. I'm talking about if Chris Brown was processed for alleged rape, like they took him downtown because of, I said downtown, I'm thinking of like movies and shit, but they took him to jail
downtown,
because
bud.
and held him for whether it was 10 minutes. They put him in handcuffs because of this woman saying that he raped her, and that's not the case. She should go to jail. I ain't talking about money. I don't care about money. At this point, you need to lose time.
Right, and I agree 100%. I agree. Just in general, if anyone makes false allegations about someone, you know, you're defaming someone's character.
Yeah.
That's on the internet forever. Even if people find out that it was a lie, just because that may rub someone the wrong way, the fact that you were in that predicament. You know what I'm saying? Even if they found out that it was a lie, it could be grounds for someone who may have a personal reason why they don't want to do business with you, just because you just had that type of energy on you. You know what I'm saying? You had that smoke on you. I don't even want to rock with you because of that.
And it's like, people just don't lie about circumstances or situations. It doesn't help causes. Like, don't lie about hate crimes. Don't lie about being raped, because it dilutes real issues and real things that people are going through. Like you said with like the Me Too movement, when people lie about certain things that happen to them. It dilutes like the real issues of people who actually gone through those issues. So I don't know. There definitely needs to be a stronger hand down on people who lie about like hate crimes, because that ruins people's lives. Like ruins people's lives, because not only so now I'm just thinking like Chris Brown was accused of rape. Yes, it's been proven to be a lie. Somebody still thinks that like nah, he did that shit.
Right.
Like that ruins your life. So yeah. Trash. Good.
For sure. Moving right along.
Move right along. I could go next. My topic. I forgot what my topic was. Go for it. As you.
What you got going on, Gigi?
I can't. Okay.
What you got going on?
Okay. So, I'm so sorry, you guys. My eyes bother me. My topic is more of a scenario base, and I'm just curious of what you guys would decide to do. So let me read it off to you. So for my topic, it ends up it deals with dealing two types of lives. So you're able to reset your life, right? Meaning you can reset at any point in time. You can reset as of today. You can reset as of 1989, 1990. Pick any decade that you restart. You can be born at that point in time, right? You have the option to reset and not remember that you're able to reset. And you're able to have unlimited of resets. And I'll tell you what the resets are. Or you have the capability of having the knowledge of you being able to reset, but when you reset, you're not able to come back as the same person. You don't choose who you come back as, and you only have 3 resets. What would you choose? Do you guys want me to tell you what the resets are?
Yeah.
Your resets play with the idea of life-altering situations such as death, marriage, or birth of a child. Maybe you're about to get locked up. Somebody in your family or someone that you know is about to die and you want to prevent it.
Not finding $1.
Finding $1.
What if you found a lot of money?
I'm saying that, okay, so in regards to this reset, if you know and you choose to reset, that means you're going back in time and you're starting all over again. Meaning you don't find this $1 again. Because you don't go back. If
What's
you're
reset, like being born again?
Yes.
Like baby, like
yes. Yes. So if you are resetting, you're going to reset as a baby. You're going to grow up your whole life.
Got it.
If you choose scenario 1, you don't remember anything.
Got it.
This scenario happens whether you about to die or you about to have a child, and a scenario comes up. The guardian, the universe, God comes up and was like, "Hey, you have a moment to reset. Do you want to reset or not?"
And this is unlimited.
This is yes, but this is with the knowledge that once you say yes, you go back, you start all over again as the same person, but you don't remember anything. You don't have any knowledge of what happened. You don't have any knowledge of resetting.
And what's 2?
2 is the life-altering situation happens. God, universe, or whatever says, "Hey, you have a moment to reset." You're like, you know what? I know. And you have the decision if you decide to reset, but you only have 3 times
and I'm
to
still
reset.
going back to baby.
Yeah, you still go back to baby, but now you're growing up and you remember. You know that you've resetted. You know whatever you did in your past life. You know that, but you are not resetting as the same person. So your scenarios is not the same. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Wait, so in the second scenario,
in the second scenario,
say, "Hey, God, reset."
Yeah,
but I'm not coming back as a baby as Greg.
You're not coming back as Greg.
I'm going to be like John.
You could be John. You could be Gigi.
I don't like either one of those scenarios.
You can be it. Yeah, you could be anybody. But and every time you reset, you're never the same person. You have to be a completely different person. So this time you're Greg. The next time you reset, you're me. You reset again, you're Mr. Rent Money. You reset again, you're Ramona.
I don't like either one of those scenarios. If I had to choose, go ahead. No, let me think.
And I can break down the scenario, and I can give you an examples. What ask me the question because I really had to. I thought of this question. Shout out to you, Baylor, because we had to like really find a way where we didn't want you to make it seem like one was better than the other. They both had to have a flaw, but they both can. Because the thing about the idea that you can live life so many times in the first scenario, even though you don't remember, and live forever. You just keep resetting. If you choose to.
Go ahead, Mr. Rent Money.
Is it okay that I'm actually fine with the natural expiration that I have as a human being?
No, yeah, because we're in a scenario, so you have to choose one or the other. In the real world, you can do whatever you want, but in this case, there's a scenario. It's either scenario A or scenario B. There's no C, there's no or, there's no none.
Ain't no death is not an option.
Death is not an option.
You can't.
No,
you have to,
actually,
you
no.
Have to keep
you
living?
can choose death depending on which.
Third time.
Yeah, you can. No, you can choose death in scenario A or B.
Which the one where death happens? Because I don't. There's no possible way I want to just keep living on this earth over and over. Like
You don't. Okay. So the idea is that none of the options mean you have to live forever. The options are giving you the idea that if something in your life has, like, I don't want to put this on my accident, right? My accident happened, and in my accident, I could have decided in this reset situation that I wanted to play out to see if I make it through this accident and play out to see the rest of my life, or I use this as a reset, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to make this one. And I reset. So I start over. In the first scenario, I would reset and I would never know that I got into a car accident. And my life would start over. And I would just continue my life again. Now, the accident can still happen. But there's a possibility that something else could happen. In scenario B, I get the opportunity to reset my life. I say, yes, I want to reset it. This time I come back. But I'm no longer in the accident, but I'm not even Gigi. I have the knowledge of Gigi. I have the knowledge of the accident that happened. I have the knowledge that I was able to reset it. But I came back as Greg. My life, I have a daughter now. Now, like my whole life has changed. It's not me, Gigi, with Carly. Now it's me. Is me as Greg with Ava. And so now, even though I have this background knowledge of the past and what could happen to me, one, I know I have 2 more resets left, and even when I reset again, I won't be Greg with Ava. I might be Mr. Rent Money with Lil G. Like, I could be that the next time around. Can I answer his
question?
Of course.
Because in both of those scenarios, scenario 1, you are living forever. You just not remember you're living forever.
No, because in scenario 1 and 2 is that the reset is an option. You never have to do the reset. The only difference in scenario 1 is that you can reset more than one. You have but if I say that I want to play out my accident and in the end I die, that's the end. I don't need to. If I decide to do the reset.
Do I have to make the decision of the reset before I die?
Yes. Or no, not even. Because if you're going to die, at this point,
if I'm dead already, can I reset?
No, you're gonna get the reset before you die. You're gonna be in the moment where you die. Yes.
So, got it. Okay.
Yes.
And I understand that the reset, you don't have to do the reset.
You don't have to do the reset. The reset is optional.
I would assume that most people would say, "Hell yeah, I ain't ready to go yet."
Yeah. Or some people be like, the thing is,
because you want your expiration.
So the thing is that it's not always about knowing that you're going that like this is inevitable. Outside of like maybe even having a child or even getting married, like you don't even know how this is gonna play. You just have the option to say like you want to reset. So in the event, like say in my accident that I went through it and I didn't survive it because I decided I didn't want to reset, that's the end of my story. But if I had the opportunity to reset, not knowing if I was going to survive it or not, now it resets and I would never know if I made it or not through the accident.
So, I just have one more follow-up question.
Good.
For scenario 1, I get it. You're coming back as a different person.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you come back as the same person, but you just don't remember everything that happened in the previous.
Yeah, and you don't know that reset. You are able to reset.
But are you living that, like, will course of events be the same?
No. So, in
there's a chance that they might be different.
The course of events could possibly be the same, but in the first scenario, let's say that you went into it as you grew up with a single parent home. You can come back, and that single parent home, you could have came back and your parents are together. It's still you.
How?
But in their reset,
How?
the dynamics of the people in your life will change. They will stay in your life, but they will change around.
You're adding that.
Yeah, I added that. That was
Okay,
good.
because
that was good.
Okay, because that wasn't in the first
I liked
scenario.
it. I just wanted to add it just now. It sounded fun.
Okay.
It would be the same.
Because I'm about to say, I'm still going to be born into the situation I was born into. Like, I just don't remember it the first time. So, but now you're saying that the people around me are different. Well,
No,
the people around me are the
will
same.
be the same.
But their life, or the way that they play a role in my life,
It could be every time you reset.
Okay.
Because I would want it to be that we're assuming that because the situation is the same, that you're going to do the same thing every time. But the thing about humans is that, like, usually we don't. We do different things. And so in this scenario, if I put in this, that you would have I thought this through a lot. That you would have in the first scenario your lifestyle already, but then the second time around, again, you don't remember your life, but you would come back. If you grew up in a single parent household, you would come back in a 2-parent household, and maybe one time, instead of you being just raised by your mom, and then maybe in the third time around you'd be just raised by your dad, or the next time, like, you would be in a different household altogether, but these are still be the same people in the first scenario though.
Got it.
Okay,
I picked the first one.
you picked the first one because there's a possibility that you can end it all.
They're
if you
kind
need
of the
to.
same.
You know, in the second one that you only get 3 chances. So after the third time, there's no reset. You have to let it play out.
I don't want a third. I don't want a second time. I don't want a third time. I just want just take the clock out.
Then you can choose any scenario. They both can clock out.
Because you're choosing to reset.
You're always choosing to reset. The only difference is that in the one that because you have so much knowledge, you only get 3 chances. In the first one, you don't have any knowledge that you're able to do it. So you get to do it as many times as you want to, because you'll never remember how many chances that you had to reset. The only thing is that you always have the option to let this lifetime play out and you see how it goes, or you reset.
They're both kind of the same.
They're not the same.
Because in the first scenario, the main difference is that you're coming back. When you choose to reset, you're coming back as
The same person.
It's not the same person.
Yo, you are coming
because
back
in
the
the
same
first
person.
scenario, you just said that you if you don't remember everything in the previous reset, you're not going to be the same person.
No, you are. I mean, you as Greg. You will always
my
be
name
Greg.
will be the same.
No, you
my
will
name and
always
gender
be
will always
Greg.
be the same.
You will always be Greg.
So then my life's situations
Okay,
wouldn't
because
change.
you're going into, obviously, the idea that you're going to make different decisions if different things happen.
But then that's a different person.
No, scenario 2 is a different person.
No, scenario 2 is like you're a completely different person, meaning your gender and name is
I
different.
forgot who you are. Okay, so what do you want me to say?
That doesn't make sense.
What does no?
Because if you're saying that when in scenario 1, when I say reset right now, and this, let's say this is my first, this is my life right now, right?
Okay.
I am black, I'm fat, I love Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
I like to wear gold, I'm into
Yeah.
technology, film, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
That is one person.
Yeah.
And just in scenario 1, if I say reset, I'm still coming back as Greg,
Yeah.
as correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be black.
Yeah.
I might be fat. Who knows?
No, you will.
So, but how?
Same person. You're gonna be You're gonna be Greg. You're gonna go back. You're gonna grow. You're going to be Greg.
But how could I be the same person if I don't remember the stuff from
Physically,
before?
you're going to be Greg.
So physically, everything
and
is the same.
you know, and you'll still like Jordan 1s
How was that? How could you be sure of
because
that?
you're Greg. You like Jordan 1s. Why wouldn't you?
Because you're saying that the people around me now,
Mm-hmm.
like, so I grew up without both of my parents. This time,
Yeah.
I might grow up with both of my parents.
Yes.
So now if I'm growing up with both of my parents, that might change my views on
Yes.
how I look at things. So how could you possibly say I like Jordan 1s? What if I like Jordan 1s now because I didn't have both of my parents?
I was going to actually say, what if
Okay, then you don't like Jordan
Then I'm not
What
the same person.
Okay, Greg.
You might
The idea that you like sneakers, period. I'm saying in scenario 1, you still are Greg. Now, if you like Jordan 1s, you want the Jordan 8s, or you want the 13s, Greg, you are Greg. It doesn't matter that you like a sneaker. In the second scenario, you don't have the option to be Greg again. You will never be Greg again. Once you have that lifetime of Greg, the next time, anytime you reset, you can end up being Gigi, you can end up being Ava, you can end up being Blaze, you can end up being Baylor, but you'll never be Greg again.
Got it. I understand the
Okay,
scenarios.
then boom. Then what do you want me else to clarify for you?
But I just think in the first scenario, you're not coming back as yourself.
No, because you're talking about the essence of yourself. No, because you don't have any knowledge of who you were.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it in the physical form. I will look the same. There will be nothing different from the idea of
Would
me.
other people remember how I look?
No. Every time you reset, those people
So
don't
this is just
remember.
be an intuition kind of thing. Like only God would know.
What do you mean?
How... Never mind. I think I'm just getting too deep into this.
No,
Never mind.
get as deep as you want because that doesn't make any sense. Go ahead. tell me.
Because who would know that I was black and fat?
You do.
You said we have no knowledge of our past self.
What are you talking about? I don't get what you're saying.
When you say reset, right now I know I'm black and fat, right?
Okay.
When you say we gonna press reset, I don't know that I'm black and fat.
Yeah.
Who knows that I was black and fat?
That you were?
Yeah.
Obviously, the universe, like whoever that you're doing the reset situation with, who you
So I'm
believe,
saying, so God
the
will
God
know.
universe. Okay. Yes, Greg.
Okay.
Which scenario would you? Do you have any more questions? Because I want to be able to answer. I really thought about this question like a lot, and I had to like add restrictions to it because one sounded more better than the other, and I needed them to both seem like they didn't. One could have more value than the other.
They both seem the same to me.
How?
Because in the first scenario, you're not coming back as the person that you were before, and in the other scenario, the only difference is instead of like unlike the first scenario, your name and gender is still the same, but
Your name and gender is never the same.
In the first scenario?
No, in the second scenario. What are you talking about?
I'm saying in the first scenario,
Yeah.
when you reset, your name and gender stays the same.
Yeah.
But logically, it seems like your life circumstances changes. But in the second one, your everything changes. Your life circumstances, name and gender.
But you have the knowledge of everything.
But you have the knowledge of everything.
Yeah. But then that's the thing is that like I'm
What would
not
that knowledge
the same.
serve me though? Then I guess the first one would be better.
That's what I said.
That's the exact.
Because yeah,
one
the
I
second
chose.
one, if I'm not the same person or going through the same thing, what would that knowledge serve me?
Well, now you're going to a situation where you don't have any knowledge at all. How is that going to serve you?
I mean, serving me well right now. You go through right now. You going through life without knowing stuff. No,
I guess. But you're not. You don't get to reset.
I know. I mean, at that point, it was like I think I'm more in line with Mr. Rent Money. I don't think I would use the resets.
Guys are so trash.
Why?
Because the idea is that, like, yes, like in a logical world where I don't play these scenarios, like I want my life to play out now. Like I wouldn't want to go back and change anything about it. But the idea that we're placed in a universe or a scenario where you get this knowledge and you get to live different lives and you get the choice, and it could be any scenario. Mr. Rent Money, it doesn't even have to be death or anything like that. It could just be you were able to change certain people that were in your life just as a reset. You're still able to have your son in life and everything, but you're able to reset that aspect of your life, and that can change everything.
But
Yeah, but you said a choice though. Like once you said you have a choice, I'm saying that's my choice. I just don't.
Just because I think your choice is trash, don't mean you don't. Your choice
you know,
should be,
you want to know
there's nothing
why?
wrong with your choice.
The reason, there's two reasons why I think I wouldn't do the reset. One, let's say the first, like in this current, can we just call them resets? Or in the original, let's say your life is trash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing is going good for you. Why in the hell would I want to reset with no guarantee that something might be different? Like, what if, when I say something might be different, what if, like, I'm still coming back as Greg, I'm still black, and I'm still a male. Like, there's no guarantee things are going to be even, like, remotely better than what the original was. But then also...
Your mindset would be different. Why would you think that?
How would my mindset be different if I don't remember nothing?
Because you're growing up in a different scenario. So you see your mindset now because of how you grow up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens if you grew up in a 2-family household?
What if I grow up in worse circumstances?
That's what I'm saying, that's the idea of the reset. You don't know. But
Too much risk.
Life is risk.
You're right. So I would rather do it once.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can understand where both of you are coming from. I still think it's... I like the idea of the known. I think I would take the unlimited one. Sounded great, but then I also realized that maybe I don't want to live so many lifetimes and not remember anything that I've gone through. So I think I would choose the second scenario, because if I am going to decide to reset and I know I only have 3, I'm going to make it count. I'm not going to just say, oh, shit, didn't want that one. Reset. Like, I'm not going to do that. I would really pay attention and really take a moment to make the decision to do the reset if I chose to. And then also understanding that reset, although may be best for me, I'll never be able to appreciate it because once I reset it from that moment, I don't get to experience again. I don't get to see how it plays out. So I would really have to be cognizant, or even that moment of, if I'm saving someone's life, that I might save this person's life, but I'll never be able to see them again because I'll never be that person in their lives again. So it would take me to understand that I need to live my life the best that I could, because that moment I reset, everything that's around me or everything that I've built will be gone.
Ooh, and then in that second scenario, that sounds mad torturous. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but in your second, in the second scenario, right? I have my daughter, right? I die, and I say reset, and now I come back as Billie Jean, but I remember Ava. I can't go to Ava and say, I used to be your dad. No, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. There's your flaw. There's the reason why you shouldn't do the second scenario. That is terrible. That sounds really rough.
It's gonna hurt your feelings, and she won't even know.
Because if you're playing into the idea that you only want to live life once, then the third scenario will play out in your best favor, because then knowing that you would lose Ava, you would just let life play out, and then that would be the end of it. In the first scenario, in the event you reset, your life would start over again, but Ava would never have existed.
But not if you're selfish.
What do you mean?
So, okay, wait. I need a little bit more clarity on the second situation. So, if I was to say reset, does everyone around me reset too?
Yeah, they don't remember you.
But are they still alive?
Yeah, everyone does. Like, everyone does that.
The second scenario was trash then. Only because if you're a selfish person, be like, hell no, I ain't ready to die yet. Hell no, I'm trying to stay on this earth as long as possible. But I still want to be able to go see my see Ava, or you want to see Giovanni. Like, no, you can't go see them, because what he gonna do if he comes back as Mr. Rent Money come back as Shane? No, even worse, come back as some chick and be like, I used to be your dad. To what?
Yeah,
No.
but so I want you to put it like this. Like, okay, so let's say, you're saying in the second scenario, right?
Yeah.
The second scenario, he will have a image in his mind that he had Ava. Ava existed. Mm-hmm. Would he be able to find Ava? No.
Why wouldn't he if he remembers where?
You can remember Ava, but you won't remember. This is a different lifetime. You remember. You know that you reset. So you have all these memories. These people may even still exist.
So wait, what memories do you have? Are you saying, because you have
of your past life? So
you not literal memories of like Ava lives here, so I can easily just go here because that's where I remember she lives.
So in your mind, so say that that's. Sorry, you guys. Say that that's a here in your new life. That here, you can't find that here.
Why not?
This is a different life. You might even be in a different state, different continent. Like, it's not just a place where you're able to just find.
I understand. Even if I was reborn as
as
Gordon in California, I still remember where Ava lives.
You would remember, but that's not where she would live. Remember that it reset. So that house that she would have lived in with you no longer exists.
So this is like a multiverse kind of thing.
This is like a butterfly effect kind of thing. Once you move a piece, it's not ever the same thing. So even though Ava's still Ava, she's not living in the house that you got because she's not. That house doesn't no longer exist because you didn't move into that house with her.
When you say new lifetime, you're saying new universe.
Okay, new universe. Sure, if you wanna.
No, because that's exactly for me. That's how I'm taking it.
Okay, if that's gonna help you make this make sense, yes.
Then still the first one, because the second one is still trash. You still remember people, and now they're not there.
Yeah, but you know that why you're resetting.
Because I'm dying or something.
Okay, things could happen.
Yeah, but it's like, I guess it would come down to, would I rather die, or do I want to reset and still remember the people that I used to love, but have...
You could still die. The thing is that the reset is the option of whatever's going to happen doesn't happen. So let's not use death. Let's use marriage, right? That's a life-altering thing. So you're about to get married. Mm-hmm. Before you get married, universe, God, whatever you want to believe in at that moment in time says, hey, before you make this decision officially and it starts off your life, you have a moment to reset. Mm-hmm. In scenario 1, you can reset, and this scenario never happened. You're still you, but you won't remember that you was about to get married to this person. You start life all over again.
What?
Scenario 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Scenario 2, I decide to reset. I know that there was a lifetime that I was going to marry this person, and I didn't. And I chose to reset. I have this knowledge, but I'm now no longer Gigi. Mm-hmm. I'm now Baylor.
Yep.
And now I'm Baylor. I have my family and everything. I have the knowledge of me being this woman.
But this is now a whole different universe.
There's a whole different life. I'm a whole different person. My life is different. I'm moving different. I might even have different skill sets or things that I remember before.
But in the back of my mind, I still remember my family that I had before.
But I now have a new family. But I'm cognizant of it because of the reset.
But I still remember that I had an old family.
Yes.
A family that I loved.
Yeah, and you have a family that you love now.
No. I don't think that. Logically, I don't see how someone. Nah, that's not true. I just think it would be hard to forget that you had a family that you loved.
You won't forget.
You would hope. Let me not use the word forget, but like, you would hope that it would be easy. Technically, you're moving on.
No, you don't have to move on.
If you had a family that you loved,
yeah,
that you saw every day,
yes,
and that you lived with,
yeah,
and you said reset,
yes,
I still remember these people.
Yes.
I still remember us sitting down to dinner, eating, being a loving family.
Yes.
But now I am a whole different person in a whole different universe. These people don't exist here.
They exist. They just don't exist in the way that you see them as connected to you.
Now I'm confused. I'm done.
The people still exist in your life. Like Ava would still exist.
And if I remember her, why wouldn't I go to her?
Why? Because you're a different lifetime. The thing about the idea is that when you decided to reset, you knew this already. So you're saving lives. Like, I don't think that anyone would decide to reset knowing that they're going to lose all of this for nothing. Right? When you're deciding to reset in this second scenario, if I know that I have this family and in this moment, it can be I'm either going to decide to see what happens at the hospital or decide to see what happens if I say yes in this proposal and I go down the aisle, then life continues. There's no reason for reset. My life stays the same. But in the event I decide to reset, I now have to, because I know my past, I'm going to be like, is this going to be worth knowing that I'm going to know that this part of my life existed and I now have to live this new life? Can I do that? I just think it would let people, well, not even let people, for me, it would allow me to not take resetting so lightly, because now like every time I would reset, I would be losing something and only being able to have to start new every time. It would make me want to make everything count at that moment.
I get you.
But that's okay. I choose scenarios too.
I
B.
I think I would choose one. In the event that I had to do a reset, I would choose one.
One, you don't want to remember anything.
That would just be painful. It feels like it would be painful. Like to know that there was a whole nother family that I loved, and I decided to reset. And I get it. It was a part of the deal of the reset. Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Okay. And Mr. Rent Money said the first one too.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
well, that's it for me.
Cool. Good topic. Good topic. All right. My topic is pressure. That it's actually the song is called Treasure. Wow, just tried to remix the whole shit.
You put Ari Lennox and Bruno Mars together.
I sure did. But pressure, right? First, I'm gonna start it off like this. Have you ever put pressure on yourself to do something?
Yes.
Have you ever put pressure on yourself to do something?
In general, yes.
Okay. When you've done that, how did that make you feel?
Anxious.
Can you elaborate?
Well, anxious in a bad way, where my nerves are getting to me. Not in a sense of like anxious, like, oh, I can't wait till Christmas to get Christmas gift. Like, not like that. Like, like it's messing with my mood.
Yeah, I got you. How about you?
It really depends for me. There's days where I think that I work really well under pressure, even time constraints. Like when things are due, like I feel like I work at my best when it's like right against like that time. Like I feel like my creative juices like this like goes into this fight or flight mode, and then I just like do like my best work instead of like having like this ample amount of time. But then also there are times where pressure makes me feel overwhelmed, and I psych myself out to the point where I just kind of like walk away from the whole scenario.
Yeah.
Like to the point where I just like I've applied so much pressure to the point where I've had to walk away. So
Yeah. I get you. And I'm definitely the same way. I like to, I don't know if that's procrastination or what, but I definitely like when it's time. I like the moments when I need to perform. So have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you didn't want to let someone down, even though they have never given you any indication that if you did fail for some reason that you would be letting them down?
I'm sorry.
yes.
Want me to say it again?
Yes.
So let's say you have a mentor and this person pours in a lot of knowledge into you, and encouraging you to become the best producer that you could possibly be, right? And you feel like you should be on, like you feel like you should have your hit single by now, but you don't. And you feel like now you're letting your mentor down, even though they've never said to you, if you don't get this hit by whatever age, you have let me down. Have you ever had any kind of pressure like that on you? That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel that way. But that's still more about you than them.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's pretty much anything that you can name that has to do with something pertaining this type of topic in general. I've had these type of thoughts in my younger years. Mm-hmm. But I've totally liberated myself from any type of like, I was really, since you said it earlier, I've been trying to think about anything I think about where like, there's so much pressure. I don't know, because I've literally in my adulthood made a conscious liberating effort to not be pressured by anybody. Like I really honestly don't move on anybody else's time.
That says a lot
like,
about you.
Yeah, like for real.
That makes me understand a lot about you way more. Honestly, honest to God. Like, wow. You said that fucked me up. I'm sorry. Yo, no pressure? Like you never felt any external pressure? I know. I mean, you definitely just said that you have. You liberated yourself from it. I just think that's crazy. Crazy in the sense that, like, I think it happens to people naturally. But the fact that you said you liberated yourself from it, that's pretty interesting.
Literally, I've made a conscious, because it's like I don't know. I do know. I was about to say I don't know. I know the exact reason why, because it's like I just move on intention, right? Like, you know, what are my intentions every time I'm taking a step forward? When I'm making a decision, what are my intentions? Like, am I trying to have any type of ill malice toward anyone? You know, I weigh things out like that. So when it comes to pressure, like what could really pressure me or make me feel moved in any type? It's either I want to do this or I don't want to do this. And if I want to do it, then hey, there's no pressure at all. Like I'm still not on nobody else's clock. Like I want to do this, so this is definitely gonna get done, and it's gonna be my best.
I got you.
I definitely want to do this, but if I don't want to do it, no matter how much pressure somebody think they're putting on me, is like, no,
I got you.
Not at all.
How about you, Gigi? Have you felt like you have people in your life who may that you like I said, a mentor or somebody that you feel like if you don't do something, you're letting them down, even though they've never said that you are letting them down?
I think more like Mr. Rent Money. Probably in the past, I was probably more cognizant of that and probably more worried about that. But now, I don't live my life for anybody else. And there are going to be things where I know that people have expectations for me, but my journey is my journey alone. And that some things have to be done in my time and not the time that you have set for me. So I don't think I'm in that energy, but I know at one point I probably was. And I just think that's just wanting to, especially when it comes to my mentor, she was very aspiring as a Black woman and holding such high position in a corporate world and having so much respect and still being able to like enjoy life. I aspired to be like that. But I also realized that we didn't grow up the same. Our aspirations weren't the same. Although I wanted to reach those same heights that she was, it wasn't going to be the same journey. We were the same different people. Her timing or where she hit certain marks in her life weren't going to be mine because those experiences and the people were different. And so although we wanted the same things, I don't think now for me that if I didn't meet the certain expectation, it wouldn't mean anything to me, because I think it would just, I would hit it, but in my own way, probably not the way that she would want me to. So today, you don't feel like you're letting people down. Like even, okay, let me give an example. Yeah. Because y'all, do that. I can already see where this is going. I don't know, where is it going? I'm about to give you an example, right? This pod, right? Okay. We have a pod going, right? And there's a goal for someday that this is going to be able to be monetized, right? Right? Well, yes, no, yes.
Okay. It's not that would be pressure. It's not a goal.
It's a goal. Well, that's my goal. Like, I want us to get to a place.
No, I'm sorry. It is a goal. When you said no, that's not a good. That's
let me.
Not
you let me finish though. So like that's like the goal for me. The goal is that like for the people that's involved, for all of us that's involved, that at some point that we are all profiting off of this podcast, right?
Right.
And though you guys may never say it to me, I feel pressure in the sense of if we don't get there at some point, I'm going to feel like I've let you guys down.
Okay, so that's a subjective thing because I know that you said that we don't say it, but that's also with the understanding that that's our expectation, but that is not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. A mentor with a good mentor or someone that you hold, that you look to for advice or counsel or whatever, like they would never say to you, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you're letting me down. But because you respect them, and you see that they care about your life, like you want to do, not necessarily live your life for them, but you don't want to you don't want to disappoint them. I guess that's the best way I could put it. Like you don't want to disappoint them, and that kind of puts a pressure on you to succeed or to do right by something. And maybe I'm the only person that feel that way. But like I do have people in my life like I just never want to let down.
Yeah, but I think that it's not really seen as a disappointment because I think that anyone in your circle at that moment would saw something that you weren't able to do or you couldn't achieve. Wouldn't it be a lack of? It would just be something that you weren't able to do at that time. So I don't think anyone around you would ever think that you not reaching a certain thing or doing something that they needed you to do and you weren't able to do it would be seen as less than.
Of course, I agree with that. I think it's a pressure that, let me speak for myself. It's a pressure that I put on myself. That's what I mean by unwarranted pressure. Like, it's a internal thing that like, I know, well, externally, I know if I don't do this, it's not going to affect anyone. My mentors is not going to come to me like, damn, Greg, you really fucked up by failing not doing this. Like, of course they're not going to do that. But internally, in my head,
affect you. It's going to affect you affecting them. So
that's
although
what I'm
it's
saying.
not, yes, because I feel the same way. That like, although it's not technically affecting them, it's affecting you knowing that it could, or the idea that you don't want it to affect them.
Exactly.
And they're going to say like, no, like you're fine, but you are letting yourself down, meaning you have let them down as well.
Yeah.
I understand.
Exactly. And that's why I was getting at. Like,
I get it.
Wondering if that's something that you guys have ever experienced or
absolutely I have experienced
right
that every day.
Every day I experience.
Every day.
You said you're liberated from it.
Yeah, like I said, when I was young, especially if you're talking about mentors, like even the thought of a mentor, you know, I've had mentors, people who I've looked at in that manner, but it's like I don't know, I'm just so disconnected from I would say, I don't want to say disconnected, but at this point I don't have anyone who's necessarily a mentor who checks in on me, that type of thing. Is like if something like that actually happens organically, then so be it. But
is that something you search for, or you just
I don't search for that in general. Like those things happen organically.
For sure.
Anytime I've had somebody who was a mentor, it was usually a chapter in my life, and that was it. But I didn't look for them to be my mentor. They just the circumstances in my life called for them to play that role in my life at that given time. I'm not saying that I'm that's something I'm closed to actually accepting, but at this time I don't have a mentor I would actually be in that predicament. But even if I did have a mentor, it's like, yo, this is my life. I would look at it totally different. This is my life. You living your life.
Yeah.
Like whether I meet your standards of whether what you feel like I should, that's a personal thing.
For sure, it definitely is.
You know what I'm saying? But as for me, I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I can do. I'm doing what I will do. And that's pretty much it. Like,
Honestly, I think that's what most mentors want. Just for you to do your best and be the best that you can, be the best that you can possibly be. I think this is what I mean by unwarranted pressure. I think all of the internal conflict that you have within yourself comes from yourself. And for me, those things drive me. Like it pushes me to not slack off. I think I'm internally motivated for sure, but the want to not disappoint people definitely drives me for sure. I feel like I know people like a mentor or someone isn't depending on me or anything like that, but it's like you never want. For me, I never want them to have to sit me down and talk to me on some junk like this is bad. Like I just never want that. So I always try to live to a standard where it's acceptable for myself, and I know if it's acceptable if it's acceptable for myself, it's acceptable for them.
why is that necessarily so? You're a
Because
totally different individual.
well, I think that's just from the understanding of the relationship that you have with them.
Okay.
So through conversation and knowing these people, for as long as I known them, like I know what they expect of me, and I think their expectations, I have the same expectations for myself because you've heard it from them for so long. So it's like, yeah, damn, Greg, that's definitely how you should be, should strive to live your life. And I'm not saying necessarily like any tangible thing about like, I don't know, buying a house or some shit like that. I'm talking about just like character things like being honest and being true to yourself and not like being some kind of fuckboy or whatever. So, like, I think for me, like a mentor, those kind of pressures, yes, they're unwarranted, but those things definitely push me to be the best that I possibly can be every day. And just to wrap up this pressure question, there's two type of people that handles pressure. You got people who pressure bust pipes, meaning they don't do well under pressure. And then you got people who pressure makes diamonds, meaning under pressure they thrive. What kind of person you think you are?
In fact,
You busting pipes or you making diamonds?
I don't like being put under pressure. Like if I feel like you, especially since I understand that, like I said, like as far as how I move and the pace that I move, and I'm not worrying about what you got going on your test paper. If I feel like I'm being put under any pressure, it's like you can keep your pressure to yourself.
So you bust pipes.
It's like the pipe is not gonna even bust pores because I'm not even like nothing is going on there. Like I'm not. When you just said it's two people, I still feel like I'm the gray area because like
No, you're not.
I'm not. If it would say if the pressure is bursted, meaning something actually happened. If I'm not entertaining your pressure,
You're
that
saying
you're putting
that
on
when
me,
you see pressure,
no. If somebody's putting the pressure, meaning someone else is putting a mandate on me, it's like, who are you? You can keep your pressure. I don't.
So what are you going to do?
I'm saying, if I'm literally starting off the tone saying that I'm not even rocking off your time. I live in my own world, like literally, like what the things that the social norms that people talk about and shit, like I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, so if you're talking about the pressure busting, like the pipe,
actively avoid pressure.
that's not what I'm saying. Avoiding it would be saying like, yo, I don't want to deal with that. That's a totally different tone than saying I don't have to deal with that. That's a totally different tone.
So you're at work and they saying we need this done. in this amount of hours. This is your job.
Right.
What are you going to do?
It's gonna get done.
That's not pressure. If they're saying,
I guess that's just depending on how you look at it, because something that I do in fact, that is something that is done every single time I'm setting up the equipment. Look, check this out. It needs to be done at this time, but because I do this so much every single time, plug this, saying pull it up, set this up, doing this. I'm not even the clock. I'm not even thinking about, I can't even think about the last time I even looked at my damn phone ever since I even started. Like,
no,
looking
I
at
get
my,
you.
because I'm doing it so much, there's no pressure.
So let's say you, like you said, you do this every day. This is your job. You do this all the time. And usually you have an hour to set up. But now we have to cut that. Today, you only have 30 minutes to get it set up. But it usually takes you an hour.
In that imaginary scenario, yeah, there would be pressure.
How do you think you would respond to it?
I would
diamond or bust? Pause.
Yeah, at the skill level that I'm at, then it would be a diamond.
There you go. Hey, I got Mr. Rip Money to answer a question. Woo!
Yeah, but just still even saying it, it's like you giving real life scenarios.
I had to.
No, I'm saying for yourself, you giving real life scenarios. Like you for me, but what I'm saying is, it's like when you saying it for my real life scenario, I'm saying, like, I don't even look at, I still feel like, even in the event of somebody saying, like, yo, you have 30 minutes, cut it down, I'm still not looking at my damn clock. I'm giving you maximum potential. I'm not slacking off.
I got you.
Like, so automatically, my attitude is not like, I need to make haste. Like, I'm still not moving off my square. I'm gonna do my job with the best of my ability, and it's gonna be done with maximum.
But you don't feel the pressure of
efficiency.
30 minutes.
But I'm not feeling it. I'm not looking at my damn clock. I'm not asking yo, how much time you got left. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Gigi? Are you a pressure person that pipes burst, or are you making diamonds?
Diamonds.
Diamonds are forever?
Yes.
Okay. I am definitely a diamond type person. It's hard for me to get rattled. Actually, I like pressure.
That's not true. I get rattled every day, but I like working under pressure. I like when there's time constraints. For some reason, it really gets me going.
You know why that's funny, right? Okay. But yeah, so that was my topic on unwarranted pressures and pressures. Mr. Rent Money, are you ready?
I am Mr. Rent Money, and these are my conspiracy theories. I'm Mr. Rent Money. In this episode, we're going to be talking about one world, one order. That's the conspiracy theory for today on Just a Conversation with Greg, Mr. Rent Money, and Gigi. So, I would say this is actually one of the last of the Mohegans as it pertains to conspiracy theory, something that has been in talks or mumbled about for decades in general. I would say where multiple conspiracy theorists have said that I think it's called the butterfly effect. You just said that where the government creates a problem and comes up with a solution for the problem to create fear and trust from the public.
COVID.
Yeah, to create fear and trust from the public. The fear is from the problem, and the trust is because the government comes as a knight with the shiny armor to save the day. And I personally believe this butterfly effect is and will ultimately be the reason why there will be one world, one order. What do you guys think?
I believe we're already in a world with this one world and one order. Like if you believe in I just want clarification. Are we saying like one government? Yeah, we already live in a world with with that. I think people underestimate. Let me not say underestimate, but I think people overlook that we have a United Nations. Like not every country is in. I could be wrong about this. I don't think I am, but not every country is invited to be a part of the United Nations. But there's a vast majority of countries in the world.
There are some that aren't.
Yeah,
and
right.
They're not protected.
And they're not protected, exactly. But the people who are, which is majority of the world, are protected by this one group of people.
Which is proven that it's not one world, one order.
But
Because
that
then there
would
would be one currency. That's the
Well, you know what I believe about currency. I think humans are the currency, so there is one currency. But that's a whole nother conspiracy theory. I just think that we're definitely already living in a world where there's only one government. I believe that's happening right now. How about you, Gigi?
I can see where we could be heading to that. I think the Rona kind of showed us how how it would look like, and how now we can. Before we were able to kind of see the difference between the countries, but when this happened, saw a uniformity in all our countries, even with the idea with masks that. The new world order is definitely something that looks more feasible than it did before. Like before, it sounded like an idea that maybe would happen, but not in our lifetime. But it definitely seems more realer now.
And how you were saying that like people are making up problems to solve other problems.
The government in particular.
Yes, I believe that's happening too. Like. Can I give you a conspiracy theory, Mr. Rent Money? I am Greg. Check it. Global warming, right? Do we believe global warming is real?
You cannot be serious because you was laughing. Global warming. The global warming I'm talking about is weather control.
You just want me to keep saying
told me what?
Every time that we talk about weather control that I was wrong. I said it many times. I said in the group chat. I said, run the tape back. They are manipulating the weather.
Okay, no,
now,
I apologize.
But global warming, right? So take, dang, this is gonna sound real insensitive. Whoo, yo, mark this, right? But let's say the war in the Ukraine, right? Global warming is a thing. And what's a way to slow down the pollution and all that stuff that happens with global warming? Raise gas prices. People are driving less pollution to the environment. A lot of the gas prices is being risen because of the conflict over there, right? So, what if that conflict was started to help global warming?
Because it only contradicts it. Because now with the mandate of masks not being implemented, and our president is telling us that we want us to go back in the office, that although it makes sense people to stay home, but now the people that were staying home now have to go to work. So even if it is gas, I'm still going to be spending money.
Yeah, but you're not driving.
Yeah, I'm going back into the office now.
Yeah, you can take public transportation. You could be walking.
But public transportation also has to rise because they have to accommodate for the gas prices that are also rising.
No, I'm not going to get into it. But
Why not?
I'm just saying because most cities nowadays, especially with public transportation, are moving to a more clean air, electric kind of system. So if people decide not to drive anymore, but decide to take public transportation, they're still helping the environment because they're taking these clean air machines versus driving your car that pollutes.
But they're all not clean air. We know that.
Yeah, I know that.
You still saw the 87s. Them 87s are still the 87s from back in the day.
They're new
all them
buses.
87s. There's some new buses.
Most new buses.
Okay, but there's still some that still have to use gas.
I believe this is actually the beginning of it being no more middle class. Because if gas prices go up so high, then just literally think about it. Who will be able to afford it? So now what was considered middle class would be upper class, and the people who just can't afford not just gas, the people who can't afford anything else that's being risen as well.
Anything that has to be exported is imported into here it's going to be taxed.
Yeah.
So
Classism. What do you think is, I don't want to say more important, or what's more relevant, classism or racism?
So which one is what?
More relevant? Happens more often?
Or to the forefront.
Yeah. I mean, to us.
They're both.
You don't think one?
At first I was gonna say they're one and the same, even though they're not. But they usually
They go hand in hand.
coexist.
For sure.
They usually go hand in hand. Yeah.
But
It's kind of a reinforced one.
no, because a white person can experience classism.
Oh, but then on the contrary, you got some really, you can have some low class white people that say some outright
That's what I'm saying.
racist shit.
Yeah, but they would still think that they were above someone black.
So I would say racism is a lot more than class. It would stand out first. If I would have to choose one, that racism
Okay.
more than classism.
I agree. I agree. I was just wondering.
I think they coincide with each other. Racism begins, classism only reinforced racism. So without racism, classism was implemented to find another way to go about racism. Usually if you think about in the system in itself, usually white people have money anyway. So even in classism, racism still plays a part because it's usually...
I disagree. I don't think that's how classism started. I think classism started, I think it was a term white people came with to feel like they are equal to black people being discriminated against by the government.
No. Especially if you think about the government in itself, where it went from white men and then it went to black men and then white women. It wasn't even thinking about black women. So, no, I don't think classism at one, like maybe later down the line, but we are just getting to the point where we're even seeing each other as equal, even in the sense of law. But prior to that, women couldn't even own property. So there was never a way where the white man and a black man could ever see each other the same. And even the same thing with a black woman or a white woman. The same.
I don't think that's how white people saw it. This is honestly what I think happened. I think we get black people, we get discriminated against all the time. We can't get certain things, especially when it comes to like government things, as far, let me not say government things, but legal things like, redlining and all that stuff. I think poorer white people their issues were completely different. They didn't have the redlining issue, but maybe they had issues of like the government not giving them assistance because of their circumstance or whatever. And it was like, this is classism, or they're not they're not able to get certain things because of a credit score, right? So they'll be like, that's classist, and they tried to make that try to make that be equal to a black person saying that's racist.
Okay.
It just doesn't sing the same.
It's not the same. No, I'm not saying that they are the same. I just think that's where the term classism came from. White people looking for something to feel like they're being oppressed. They always want to be the victims.
Well, I just think when you say that they always want to be the victims, I think that people in general want to play the victim, but because of the history of even being from the bloodline of a white person, then you naturally you're gonna think about slave masters and all of the cruel things that were done. So that group of people playing a victimized role, it's like, what? Mm-hmm. You have the nerve? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when another person is a victim, obviously, it's more on a even playing field, or thinking like that. But I would say it's lower than that, because when it comes to society, black people are looked at as the bottom of the barrel.
Which we should.
But at the end of the day, it starts with us. It starts with, I believe, if you look at we look at ourselves and everything that happened with history, we cannot change it. Mm-hmm. It is wrong. It's wrong. It's so wrong. But this is not going to end. It's things that are so. This thing that we call racism is never going to end. It can't end.
I agree. If we live in a country where equality has to be a law.
But it's not even just in
trash.
In America. It's places all it's like that in China. Like if you're darker, you still put in a certain area. They even market Chinese people on TV to a lighter complexion. They don't usually show the darker complected Chinese people. Mm-hmm. It's almost like these are the ghetto. They're usually more the poorer.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
I don't know how this ended up being the Black History Month conspiracy theory.
It always need to be Black history. Black futures, like Kanye said. We need to talk about the present. I'm just rambling now.
No, I honestly do get really, really tired of only hearing about the bad news. I don't want us to forget it.
I don't think we gotta keep reliving it.
But it's like this reoccurring imagery. It's like, what are you doing here? What are you now with what are you really doing? You showing these negative images repeatedly on a maximum platform. You know what I'm saying? Like with millions of dollars put behind it to show that type of imagery on top of the way the world perceives black people as well. So now you investing millions into this type of imagery. Imagine what that does to people psychologically. Like when you see these movies, like real live movies, paid in full, movies that we love, like this type of imagery.
Yeah.
You know, like how much does it contribute to the stereotypes and ways
I think that's
we're perceived?
when you think of what's the word I'm looking for? Subliminal messaging.
Right.
It's all a part of it. I would definitely say it is like just a let me keep reminding you slavery happened.
What do you think about that Gigi? I never really heard you in general with this topic in particular. Like you know, like our relationship and bond is like it's still like really the newbies. So like I've heard this type of conversation from Greg, but I never heard you in general speak about this type of topic in general.
Like, but what specifically? Because I do believe in the New World Order, so.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. What would you say is something that? What would you say is something that being a black woman in America should prepare themselves for? What will become of when the New World Order? I mean, it's here, but the one world, one order.
Like what?
Meaning everyone is going by the same code and ethic. All countries, all states.
Yes, and you.
What would you say a black woman should do to prepare for this coming of one world, one order?
I would tell them to get in tune with agriculture, being able to take care of themselves before even thinking about going to the supermarket if they have children. Bring it back to the basics. Allow them to learn how to live life without a tablet. That's something that I would always want my children to have, an active imagination outside of something that's proactively provided them to, like, I don't know, because like I've seen children literally get stuck watching something. Like they will ignore you just watching a cartoon on TV. That's crazy to me, that how they can just block you out. I would also tell them to if they do want a family, to make sure that they maintain to grow and uplift their families, because that's something that as a black woman the biggest support is family sometimes, and even friends, chosen family too. It's not always have to be your blood. That's what I would say.
Right. Filler.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. New World Order. Or One World Order. Conspiracy theory. Good looks, Mr. Rent Money.
Thank you so much, friends, for being here with us. We appreciate you listening to us, tuning in to this episode of Just a Conversation with Greg, Mr. Rep Money, and Gigi. Let's get into it, Greg.
All right. So you know how we end our show. New dialogue. Quick topics about something that we think is important. Or cool.
Quick.
Understood. My bad. Last week I didn't have a quick topic, but it was very entertaining.
I didn't know they
So
were supposed to be topics.
topics, new dialogue, tomato.
No.
New dialogue. Like I said, it's just a time at the end of the show where we just talk about something quick that we think is cool, interesting, and if they're, you know what, we'll just leave it at that. So, anybody want to start?
I'll start. So my new dialogue is I have gone to archives. I know that they have these great shows out, like, the Power Force and the Snowfalls of the world and all that other great stuff. But I went back into the archives of FX, and I started watching this show called Nip Tuck. Now, to any of my old school watchers of FX channels and aware of this show, this was one of my favorite shows. I don't even think I finished it in its entirety because this was the time where you didn't really know they were seasons. You just kind of tuned in and to the next episode. And so now I'm in it. Nip Tuck is a show about two plastic surgeons who open up a business. They're partners, and their lives end up being a little more intertwined than they want it to be. And it's crazy. There's scenarios that I'll even probably pose to my guys on or off mic that you guys may be privy to. But this show is just madness. For its time, there was a lot of things going on. But I do also like the idea that when they did do the surgeries now, like, you actually see them go through the surgeries. Now, are they surgeons for real? No. But I do like to see that there were, you don't always just see your average boob jobs or your butt jobs. Like, they were actual different types of surgeries that people actually go through, which was very interesting to me. Because at one point in time, and maybe even still kind of recently, I've dabbled in the idea of maybe getting some things done. So I was just really curious about it. So it's a good show for what it is. I've been kind of hooked on it. So yeah.
Can I give you another show to watch?
Sure.
You ever seen Nurse Jackie?
I started watching it, but I never finished it.
Ooh, Eddie Falco.
It was good.
Great show. Showtime. If you have anybody else want to watch it. But that's dope. Nip Tuck. FX. On Hulu?
Yes.
I fuck with FX. I could go next. My new dialogue is myself because I'm that nigga. So what? Okay. So since March 1st, I've been only drinking water. I've been doing two things. Only been drinking water. No coffee. I love my coffee. But no coffee, no alcohol, no juice, no nothing. It's just been water. Right? This shit has been difficult as fuck. Cause I need my coffee in the morning. That's like an old person, but I do enjoy coffee in the morning to like give me that boost in the morning. So that junk has been difficult. I'm trying to do this all the way to my birthday, and I can tell you this: there's mad waters out there, yo. Expand your horizon outside of Poland Spring, Fiji, and Dasani or some shit. There's mad water.
Yeah. There's a water called Liquid Death.
No, don't try that. Yo, I was one of those people that was like, water is just water. They all taste it, not no more.
We've had that conversation.
I was wrong. I could admit it. I was wrong.
I feel like there's a lot of times in these episodes where you like to admit.
It's alright. It's okay. And also, I haven't been on Twitter since March 1st either.
Shout outs to Twitter.
So,
what a time to be alive.
And it's been good not to be on Twitter. I ain't gonna even hold you. I feel like there's this pressure. This is just me. But there's this pressure that, especially like when you're going through something, things on your timeline trigger things where you either feel like you need to share it or you share things and then you get people asking questions that you don't really want to talk about or whatever. So it's been good that I just been like off it. I've been just playing my slap game. I'm at level 554 on this bitch. Let's go. I'm coming for the #1 spot. I am. I'm like 1,000 right now.
Hope is a sweaty man with long balls.
Why?
Cause you coming for the spot.
I wish. Do I? Boo. But yeah, I'm doing those two things.
Shout out to you, Greg. I can see it. You slow me down. I can see it. Yeah.
Yo, water good. Water, and I'm not even talking about like I'm not doing like seltzer water. It's just water.
Yeah, in a box.
Box just water. Just water is. This is different.
Can I get one?
Sure, I got one in my car.
Thanks.
These shits are different.
Cause I'm tired.
I like them. Just water.
I loved him.
Okay.
I feel like if that was the commercial, that's how it would go.
I like it a lot.
But yeah, that's my new dialogue.
Well, that was a great new dialogue. All right, my amazing individuals. This is about that time. I'm so happy that you were able to spend this much time with us. And with that being said, Greg, you want to let them know how they can find you and how they can find us? Yeah,
so follow the pod on Twitter and Instagram at just a convo _pod. I'm going to say it again. At just a convo _pod. Yeah. Link with us, you know. We talk. We'll talk back. If you want to follow me on Twitter, be my guest. It's just that I haven't been there, so
it's just now when he's on it, he goes.
When I'm there, though, I am entertaining.
He will tell you everything that's happening.
I feel like I'm one of the best tweeters there is in the land. But my Twitter is at Gregisms with a Z. Hit me.
That's a no for me, dog. And
but you follow me already.
Mr. Rent Money, you want to let them know how they can find you?
Hey, people, listen to me. Listen to the words that I'm saying. Google me right now. Mr. Rent Money. I'm going to pop up. Seriously.
All right. And with that being said, you can find me on Twitter at gcarly7. And that's GQARLY and the number 7. Ooh, you guys, we made it through another one. So if you forgot today, if no one told you today, if you just needed to be reminded today, I want you to know that I, my friend, want you to go be great.
Rent money.